Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel. I'm super excited to be here on the Thermoweb YouTube channel. I want to show you some of their new products, specifically the Clear Designer Toner Sheets. These can be foiled with any of the new colors of foil or any colors of foil that you happen to have from Thermoweb, and they make the perfect shaker card windows. So before we get started creating a shaker card, I do want to show you all the products that were just released January 2018 at Creativation. There are new foil colors including Denim, Jade, Wild Cherry, Shattered Glass Silver, Shattered Glass Gold, and Plum. You can see those designer stencils there. I'll show you those in a different video. There are also Clear Designer Toner Printed Sheets. You saw Splatter and Distressed Lines. There's also Floral Sketch, there's arrows, polka dots, and branching out, which is those beautiful vines. So we're going to cut some fun foam. I have white fun foam, and I'm going to cut it to about 4 by 5 1/4, so that it's a little bit smaller than a traditional size card. I have the Gina K Thermoweb large oval single stitch dies, and I'm going to cut through both pieces of fun foam so that they line up together perfectly and create a dimensional window for my shaker card. So you can see that I ran it back and forth so that it would make sure to cut through both pieces of fun foam really well. Now I'm going to line up that same die in the middle of a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of white cardstock. This is the Gina K for Thermoweb white cardstock. And once I do that, then I can place my pieces of foam behind it. Because they're smaller, I can line them up perfectly and they won't hang out the edge. Now I have the Polka Dots Clear Designer Toner Sheets, and I'm going to cut that down. I just cut that little border that is just plain clear off, and then I cut it to a little smaller than about 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm using the Gina K Brilliant Blue foils, and I'm placing it in a parchment sandwich with a piece of cardstock underneath for stability. And you can see that when I pull up that foil, that it has adhered to the toner polka dots, and it's going to make a really pretty foiled shaker window. So the first thing I'm going to do is flip over my die cut piece of cardstock. I'm going to use Thermoweb's Memory Runner XL, which is a great tape runner, and it is perfect for creating shaker cards. I'm going to put it all along the edge of the window and all over that cardstock. And I'm just going to lay this down on top of my foiled piece there. I had a little bit sticking out because I wanted it sort of off to the side there to get the most amount of dots that I could in the window. So I just trimmed that off. Now it's important that I put much of my adhesive right on that edge there again, because we don't want our shaker goodies coming out. And this is where the Memory Runner XL comes in handy, because the tip actually pivots, so you can get it around curves and edges. So then I put my first piece of fun foam down on that adhesive, and now I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to go all the way around the edge. You can see that I'm going slowly because I really want to make sure that there are no gaps in the adhesive where those shaker goodies could come out. This time I'm just lining up my window and the two pieces of foam. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the EK Success powder tool and run it around the edge, just in case I had any adhesive hanging out. That will keep your shaker goodies from sticking to the sides. I'm going to put some sequins and some stars inside, and I really like the way those blue sequins match the brilliant blue of the foil that we used. And once again, I'm going to take my Memory Runner XL and I'm going to run it all along that edge of the die cut oval there, and that's going to make sure that my cardstock adheres and none of the shaker goodies get out again. I'm also putting a little bit of adhesive on the corners there. I just really want to make sure that this stays together solidly, even if I send it through the mail. Now I'm going to line up my card base, which is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch top folding note card that I created with the Gina K white cardstock. I have these details. These are the Thermoweb Gina K Designs details. They're foil mates, so you can foil those little sentiments, the little balloons, the cakes, whatever. And I'm going to use the same brilliant blue to foil this happy birthday. The great thing about these foil details is that you can purchase coordinating dies, so I don't even have to cut out that little banner there. So I cut a tiny strip of the foil, placing it on top of that foil mate and running it through my laminator. And when I peel it back, you see now I have a adorable little foiled sentiment. And all I need to do now is to cut that out. So the next thing I'm going to do is take the outline balloons that were in that same foil mate designs, the details designs, and I'm using the Gina K for Thermoweb inks to stamp color inside those balloons. So what I am doing here is creating color inside the balloon. The black outline is actually toner. So once I'm done with my stamping, I can add foil and run it through my laminator, and that will foil that outside there. But first what I'm going to do is cut them out. And so I have the coordinating dies. I have the one little balloon die. I'm going to just washi it down, line it up there, and send it through my Sizzix machine. And once I do that, then I can move on to the next little balloon. And you'll see that you just want to make sure that you have enough space on the outsides of those balloons so that you don't cut off the toner. You don't want to cut off the toner because the toner is what is going to stick to the foil. So I have the shattered glass in silver in a parchment piece with cardstock behind, and once I run that through my laminator, you can see that the edges now of my balloons have a really pretty silver finish to them, so they are foiled as well, which I really love. So the next thing I'm going to do is start putting my card together here. I have the shaker window, and I'm using the Memory Runner XL to adhere a couple of the balloons right up to that right hand corner there. And then I'm going to take some Thermoweb 3D Zots and adhere 2 of the balloons that way to get a little bit of dimension on top. So it looks like it really is a bunch of balloons floating up there in that right hand corner. Now I'm going to take the iCraft mixed media adhesive, which is a liquid adhesive. I'm going to put a little dot underneath the balloon, and I'm going to place a piece of twine right on top of that dot and just let it hang down. Once this is dry, I can trim it, I can tie them together, do all those things. But right now I'm just placing that dot of liquid adhesive behind each balloon, and then sort of just tucking the one end of the baker's twine underneath the balloon so that it will look like it is the balloon string. For this last one, I had a little bit of trouble because it was underneath everything, and so I wanted to just peel it up. So I used a piercing tool to just lift up the little tail of the balloon. Okay, now I have a 5th piece of twine, and I'm going to tie it into a bow around all of them so it looks like it's a whole bunch of balloons tied together, just like you would bring to a party or have as table decor or whatever. So I'm going to tie that little bow there, and once that's completed and I've straightened it up and had all the strings nice and straight, then I can cut off those tails. The last thing I'm going to do is just use a little dot of the mixed media adhesive on the back of the bow knot just to make sure that that stays in place on my card. Again, I just want to make sure that when this goes through the mail, it shows up looking just like it did when it left my hands. So the mixed media adhesive is perfect for that, and it does dry clear so you won't even see it. And that completes my shaker card with a foiled shaker window. You could see that you could do this for any number of different types of shakers. I actually created a whole ton of shakers. So I have this birthday one. I also used the distressed lines to create a similar birthday card. I used the Clear Designer Sheets pinstripes to create that butterfly card. And then this butterfly card, I used the polka dots. So I hope that you will check out these brand new Clear Designer toner sheets from Thermoweb. All of the products will be linked down below as soon as they are available. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today and have a wonderful day.